We are officially live. Now, what we learned yesterday was the slope formula, okay? And I'm actually going to talk about that before I actually cover this topic here, because it's related, right? And I said that the formula for the slope formula was m stands for slope equals delta y, which means the change in y over the change in x. And then I wrote it out the longhand way, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this is used when you're given 2 points, just like you had for homework last night. I gave you 2 points. So let's say I gave you, 4 and 8 and, I don't know, 6 and 10. Well, not 6 and 10. 6 and 12. All right? So let's say I gave that to you, those 2 points, and I wanted you to find the slope. And I told you yesterday that when I do it, I always start with the bigger y. This is an x, this is a y. This is an x, this is a y. I always start, okay, this is a y, this is a y, this one's bigger. I always start with the bigger.
So
that's just, now you don't have to always start with the bigger. You don't have to. And I want to show you, let's say I did x, I made, let's say I did it the way I said I would do it. This would be x1, y1. I make x, the y, bigger y would be y2. So then I would say, okay, so I have m is equal to this bigger y, 12, minus this littler y, 8, over, I've got to start with this one. Since I started with this 12, I've got to start with this one, right, for the x. 6 minus 4. So that gives me 12 minus 8 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. And if I simplify that, it gives me a 2, right? So make sure you're writing this down, Henry, okay? Now, let's say, though, so that was pretty easy, right? That's pretty easy. Now, let's say I didn't start with the bigger y. I just want you to see what will happen, okay? So let's say I decided, I'm a rebel. I'm a rebel. And when Gary says start with the bigger y, I am going to start with the littler y. Because I'm a rebel. I'm special. So here's my littler y. I'm going to make this my x2, my y2, and this is going to be my x1, my y1, right? Okay, I'll show Gary, right? So that means I'm going to do m is equal to my y2 first, right? Which is 8. And then I do minus, because the formula has a minus, and then I do 12 over 4, since I started with this one, right? I've got to start with this one on the x2. 4 minus 6. What does this give me? 8 minus 12 is?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. And 4 minus 6 is? Negative 2. What does that equal?
Negative over negative is positive, so you still end up with 2.
You still have a 2. So you got the same answer. It doesn't matter which point you start with. It's just that here you end up having you're more likely to have dealing with negatives, which is fine if you like negatives, right? I like to be positive, Right, but it's like it doesn't matter. It's easy. It's fine either way. But that's why I just personally choose. I start with the bigger one, the bigger y. Now it doesn't mean I'm not going to have a negative, right? Because the x's when I subtract them might be negative, right? So then the whole fraction would be negative. So it's not a big deal. This is just why I do it. But what I want to talk about now is, because we've been focusing on this method, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. In my opinion, that's the hard way. And if it works for you and you don't like the simple way, the way I'm about to teach it, what I think is simple, fine. I find that like half the class likes this way and the other half likes this way. And I'm going to show you they're the same thing. There's no difference, right? It's just that you don't have to think, well, which is x2 and y2 and which is x1 and y1, and you don't have to juggle all those things because all you're doing is an x and an x and a y and a y. That's all you're doing. So this is what I do. So if I should have kept that. Oh, I'll do a different problem. So if I gave you 1, 7, and 4, 2. Okay. What I do is I use this. M is the change in y over the change in x. Change means what? Subtract. So I've got to take one y and I've got to subtract the other y from it. I don't care which one is y2 and y1, right? I could care less. Sometimes you'll see this formula written as y1 minus y2. And that throws everybody for a loop. Over x1 minus x2. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter which one you make it, right? So forget that for a second. Just think about the change in y. This is what I'm talking about right here. The change in y over the change in x. Like I said, I figure out which one is the bigger y. This one, right? I put a box around this. That just reminds me this is the one I'm starting with. And I take this y, so my m is equal to the y in the box, 7, and change means minus, right? And then I put the other y here. And then over, and then I go back to the box and I put my x, which is 1, and then the formula says minus, and then I put my other x, which is 4. So suddenly I have, 7 minus 2 is 5 over negative 3, right? So my slope is negative 5/3. Does that make sense? I find my bigger y. I don't have to find my bigger y. It doesn't really matter which one you start with, like I explained earlier. You can just put a box around one of them that you're going to start with, right? You don't even have to worry about the bigger y if you don't want to, but just put a box around the point you're going to start with, and that's the first number on the top, and that's the first number on the bottom. Then you put a minus sign, and then that's the first number on the top, or the second number on the top, and that's the second number on the y, on the bottom, on the x.
Oh, that's cool.
Right? See what I'm saying? So it's just,
So you just flip it
it's
into
y
x.
minus y over x minus x. It's not y2 minus y1, or which one's y2? Oh no, which one? I forgot. Right? It's not that. It's just y minus y over x minus the other x. Right? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just that it's easier. You know what I mean? Like in a year, well, after next year, you're going to take out geometry. And when you take geometry, you're going to spend a whole summer not doing algebra. Then you're going to do a whole year doing geometry. And then a whole year not doing algebra. And then you're going to have algebra 2. And they're going to talk about the slope formula. And you're going to think, oh my God, m is equal to, oh, I remember there was a 2 in there, and there was a y, there was an x and a 1, I think, and then there was an x2. And you're thinking, oh my God, what is it? But almost everybody remembers this, the change in y over the change in x. Change means subtract. One y minus the other y, one x minus the other x.
Why do they do like you have like 1 year of something?
I don't know. That's a whole nother question. That's a whole nother discussion. I agree. I would change it if I could, but I can't. So I'm not going to. So now that we know the slope formula really well, we are going to think about point slope formula. What's the point slope formula again? Point slope. Point slope formula. Point slope. So many people get these confused. When I say write the point slope formula, they write this. Or when I say write the slope formula, they write the other one, right? They're different, right? So what's the point slope formula?
Y equals mx.
No, y minus
Oh.
equals m x minus
Okay. All right. Good. All right. So let's say I said this. Well, let's first of all write an equation of a line with slope of 1/2 and or that passes through negative 4 comma 8. What did I give you? I gave you a, what's that called? Right, it's a point, right? It's a coordinate plane, it's a coordinate or an ordered pair, but it's a point, right? And what did I give you there? So what formula would you use to write something where I gave you a point slope? What formula would you use? Point slope! Oh my God! Where'd you guys, oh my God, that's brilliant. Right, exactly. Point slope. I gave you a point and I gave you a slope. That's perfect. Then I'm going to use that equation, right? So what is it? So Lucinda, help me.
Oh, okay. It would be y. Okay, y minus 8 equals 1/2 parentheses x plus 4.
Right, it'd be minus a minus 4, which is plus 4, right? Good. So that was easy, right? Everybody knows that. Fist of 5. I just want to know. Everybody's really good at that, right?
So we're basically just using the same formula and we're figuring out.
So this is the formula, right? This is called the point slope formula. And the point, this point is actually an x1, y1. So when I see y1, I'm going to put this in. Y minus 8, because 8's the y1, and equals 1/2, because that's your slope, parentheses, x minus x1. x1 is in minus 4. X minus a minus 4. Minus minus means plus, right? So you're just doing that. So as long as you have a point and a slope, it is a piece of cake to write an equation. Am I right? Okay. Can I erase?
Don't erase the point slope.
Can I erase this part?
Yes.
I can?
Yes.
Just don't, not that,
Yeah,
but
not
this.
that.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted to erase. Oh shoot, I shouldn't have erased it. Oh well. Okay, so here's our next problem. So that was number 1. Here's number 2. Write an equation of a line that passes through 2, 7, and negative 4, comma 5. What would you do? Aiden,
Would use the slope formula
why?
because they didn't give you
They didn't give you what?
a slope.
They didn't give you a slope. Oh my gosh, they didn't give you a slope. But what did they give you? A point. 2 points. They gave me 2 points. That's overkill almost, right? Except they didn't give me the slope. I need to have 2 points. If they don't give me the slope, I need 2 points. Why?
Find the slope.
To find the slope, right? That's great. And then once I find the slope, what would I do?
Find the point slope.
Yeah, exactly. Point slope. Use this point slope formula. But the only trouble is I have 2 points. 1 slope, 2 points. That's interesting. So just use either point. Okay? Doesn't matter. In fact, if I have time, I might show you a little thing that's kind of cool. Because, anyways, we'll get there. So if I have 2 points and they're asking me to write an equation, I know I can't use slope-intercept because there's no slope and there's no intercept. I could find the slope, but there's no intercept, right? I could use it actually, there's a way. But I'm just teaching you. Use the names of the formulas. Point slope has points already. If I had my slopes, I could do it easily. And I know how to find my slope easily. using this. So I'm going to look at this. I see, oh, for me, the way I would do it is I would see that's my bigger y. I'm going to put a box around that one. I'm going to take that. My slope is that one, that y, minus that x. I mean, excuse me, that y, what am I saying? Over that x, 2 minus minus 4, which is plus 4. So that gives me 2 over 6, which is equal to 1/3. Am I right? So my slope is 1/3. That wasn't very hard.
No.
So you're writing this down? Because you're going to need this for homework. All right? That was really easy to find the slope. Now it's even easier to write the equation. So Graham, help me. Choose either point.
Y minus 2 equals,
Wait,
oh yeah, y minus 7
there you go.
equals 2 over 6.
Well,
parenthesis- oh, 1/3.
Always write it in this.
Parenthesis x minus 2.
You got it. Perfect. Okay. Who wants to do the other equation? Adam.
Okay, so it's gonna be y minus 5
Yes, exactly. Good.
5 equals 1/3,
Yeah.
and then x minus 4.
X minus minus
X
4.
plus 4.
So plus 4. Good job.
Oh, that makes so much more sense.
Adam, I don't know what you did, but you just turned on the light bulb. That's amazing. That's awesome. Good. It makes sense to you now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. They're really not hard, but this is actually called a multi-step problem because usually you're just given one thing to do, find the slope, right? The only thing is, I said write the equation, and you have to do two things. First, you have to find the slope, and secondly, you have to write the equation. Does that make sense? And sometimes that makes for people's brains short circuit, but it's not that hard, right? It's just one step at a time, right? Now, I wanted to show you something. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do you want me to do another example? Would it be helpful? No? Okay, I want to show you one last thing then. Sometimes, have you noticed, like, if I asked you to write, let me think, how do I say this? Well, here, we'll go with this. Okay, let's say we have these 2 points, 2, 8, and 4, 1. No, wait, I don't want to, hang on a second. I want to make this, I want to rig this a little bit. Hang on. So that it's easy. Sorry. I'm on video, right? You know, I don't want to make a fool out of myself. Okay? I don't know. Okay, let me think here. So I want the bottom one to be a 2. So I'll make the bottom one 4, and I want the top one to be 4. So that would be 12. Is that what I just did?
No, you did 2.
Because you did 1/4. Or 1 comma.
Okay, all right. So good. Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. So to find my slope, real quickly, I'm going to use this one. I put a box around that. I know I'm going to start with this. I'm going to start with that. So it's equal to 12 minus 8 over 4 minus 2. 12 minus 8 over 4 minus 2. Easy. So that equals 4 over 2, which is equal to 2, right? Now, would you agree with me if I plotted this 2, 8, 4, 12? Okay, that's fine. So we'll start here. I'm not on the camera anymore. Sorry, guys. I should be on the camera, shouldn't I? Okay, I'll do it over here. Watch this. If I plotted that, 2, 8, Okay, 2, 8. Boom. And then the other one was 4, 12, which is boom, right? Would you agree with me that if I drew a line through that point, that's the same line, right?
Yeah.
So the equation should be the same, right? Whenever I write the equation for that line, it should be the same, right? It should be the same equation. It's only one line, right? But when I use point slope formula, I will get two different equations. Look at this. If I use this one, I would have y minus 8 is equal to my slope, which is 2 times x minus 2. Right? That's my equation of this line. This is y minus 8 is equal to 2 times x minus 2. You agree with me? Everybody with me? That's the equation for that line. Okay, but if I use this point, look what I get. Y minus 12 is equal to 2 times x minus 4. What? So you're telling me that that's the equation of the line? Are you crazy? There's no way. There is no way. Sorry. Oops. There is no way that those equations are the same thing, right? Don't you agree with me? Right? I mean, we're logical. We're logical human beings. All right, let's solve for y. Let's turn them into slope-intercept. Right? Remember what slope-intercept is? Y equals mx plus b, right? So it's y equals. So if we just solve for y, let's just see what we get. So before I can do that, I got to get rid of my parentheses, right? Yeah, with me? So what do? I'm going to do my distributive property. So I got y minus 8 is equal to 2x minus 4. Am I right? And now, what's the last thing I have to do to have it be y
I
equals?
just have a quick question. Where
Yes.
are we getting the 2 from?
We figured out the slope between these two was 2.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I have the 2 there.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
I got you.
And then that 2 is that 2.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So, first thing I did is I just used the distributive property, right? And now I want it to say y equals. It doesn't say y equals, it says y minus 8 equals. What can I do to have it say y equals?
Add 8 to both
Add
sides.
What?
Yeah,
Add 8 to
Add
both
8.
sides.
So I'm going to add 8. Add 8. Okay, so it gives y is equal to 2x plus 4. Am I right? Okay. Now, this is interesting. Now, let's do the same thing to this. Let's solve for y. I'm going to do my distributive property. I've got y minus 12 is equal to 2x minus 8. Am I right? And what would I do to get it to y up by itself? Add 12. So y is equal to 2x plus 4. Look at that. They're the same equation. They're the exact same equation. When I put it into slope-intercept form, I can see exactly the same equation. But when it's in point-slope form, it's a different equation for every single point. Does that make sense? It's going to look totally different. That is the equation for this line when you're using this point. That is the equation for this line when you're using this point. And they look totally different. So there could be there could be an infinite number of equations for this line in point slope form. And they will all be different until you solve for y. And you find, oh my gosh, they're the exact same equation. It's only one line, right? So that's what it's at. So welcome, you guys. So we've been, what are we doing? Anyways, we've been talking about slope and points and how to find the slope between of the line connecting 2 points, and then how to write an equation of a line given a point and a slope, and then how to write the equation of a line giving a point and a point. So they have to, that's a two-step thing where they have to find, the slope first of the line between 2 points, and then write in point slope formula the equation for that line. And then we were realizing, oh my gosh, there's one line, but all these different points, there would be totally a huge number of different equations. And then we're realizing, oh my God, but they're really the same equation. When you solve for y equals, when you put it in a simple format like that, you find, oh my gosh, all those equations are the same. So awesome. So that was technically the end of my lecture, but we'll just try one more. We'll just try one more. You guys help me with this, okay? All right, so let's say I have this, -4, comma, -1, and -3, comma, 7. Okay, I want to write an equation of the line passing through those 2 points. So I'm going to call on people that I don't hear from very often. All right? So, slope. I want to find the slope. Okay, Ma, help me. What? Okay. So which one am I going to put a box around? This one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put a box around that one. So my slope, m is equal to
7.
and then the formula says minus, right? Because that's what change means. Minus a -1, right? Which means I'm going to turn that minus into a plus, right? Okay, now what?
-3.
-3 minus, the formula says minus.
-4.
All right, -4. So minus 4 becomes plus 4. Okay, what is that? What's 7 plus 1?
8.
8. What is -3 plus 4?
1.
1. So my slope is 8. Awesome. Good job. All right. Now, Abby, help me with writing the equation now of the line using either this point or this point, whichever one you want. So we're going to use that. We're going to use this. I erased my formula, didn't I? Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Right? So help me do that. So that's going to be a number, and that's going to be a number. So which one are you going to use? This point or this point? Just tell me which one. Probably this. We want to do this one since it's already in a box. We'll use that one. So we're going to do y minus. What's y1? This is x1. This is y1.
7.
Y minus 7 equals, what's my slope? Thanks to Okema, we know. See, where does it say m equals? Slope is my m. 8 times x. And then what's x1? Minus 3, right? So there we go. So that's going to be plus 3. There we go. We did it. All right, Weston, give me the other one with this one.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Alright, so -4, or wait.
So I want you to write an equation of the line connecting those 2 points. And the slope, Okema's already figured out, is 8.
So y plus 1
Okay?
equals 8. X plus 1.
You got it. Good. Awesome. Fist to 5. You guys are getting this? Making sense? Awesome. Good job. All right, so I'm going to give you the homework and get started.